There's a book that was banned by the church for over 200 years. Not because it was blasphemous, not because it promoted violence, but because it told the truth about power in a way that made those in control extremely uncomfortable. The man who wrote it died knowing his words would either liberate men or be buried forever. They tried to bury it. They failed, and what you're about to discover is why they were so terrified of you reading it. Look around you right now. Every successful person you admire, every powerful figure you see, every man who seems to effortlessly command respect and resources, they all know something you don't. It's not a secret handshake. It's not about being born into wealth. It's not about luck. It's about seeing the game for what it actually is, not what they tell you it is. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. Everything changes. His name was Niccolò Machiavelli, a diplomat, a philosopher, a man who spent his life in the rooms where real power was exercised. He saw empires rise and fall. He watched weak men lose everything and strong men take whatever they wanted. And he made a choice that would cost him everything. He wrote it all down, not in flowery language, not in comforting lies, in brutal crystalline truth. The Prince wasn't written for kings. It was a mirror held up to reality. And when people looked into that mirror, they saw something that terrified them. They saw how the game actually works. The Catholic Church banned it immediately. For centuries, owning a copy could destroy your reputation. Even today, calling someone Machiavellian is an insult. Why? Because this knowledge threatens every system designed to keep you compliant. Here's what they don't want you to understand. You've been raised in a simulation, not a digital one, a psychological one. From childhood, you've been fed a narrative about how the world works. Work hard and you'll be rewarded. Be nice and people will respect you. Follow the rules and success will come. It's a beautiful story. It's also completely false. The real world operates on different principles. Principles that Machiavelli documented with surgical precision 500 years ago. Principles that are still true today because human nature hasn't changed. Let me show you the game. First truth, the world is not fair and it was never designed to be. You've been taught that fairness is the default state. That if something isn't fair, it's broken and needs fixing. This keeps you passive. This keeps you waiting. Waiting for recognition, waiting for your turn, waiting for someone to notice your hard work. Machiavelli observed that fortune favors the bold, not the patient. The men who succeeded weren't the ones who waited their turn. They were the ones who took what they wanted when opportunity presented itself. Power is not distributed fairly. It's taken by those who understand how to take it. Stop waiting for permission. Stop believing in cosmic justice. Start recognizing that you're in competition whether you acknowledge it or not. Second truth, being liked is not the same as being respected. Society has convinced you that being agreeable, nice, and accommodating is the path to success. Machiavelli watched nice princes lose their kingdoms. He watched aggressive strategic rulers expand their empires. He asked the famous question, is it better to be loved or feared? His answer, both if possible, but if you must choose, choose fear, because fear is reliable, love is fickle. Now, before you misunderstand, this isn't about being cruel or tyrannical. It's about boundaries. It's about consequences. It's about people knowing there's a line they don't cross with you. Think about the men you truly respect. Not the ones you like, the ones you respect. There's something formidable about them, isn't there? Something that says, I'm valuable and you'll treat me accordingly. That's not accidental. That's cultivated. People will take from you whatever you allow them to take. They'll disrespect whatever you tolerate. Your kindness without boundaries is interpreted as weakness. The game rewards respect, not likability. Third truth, what appears to be happening is rarely what's actually happening. Machiavelli dedicated entire chapters to the gap between appearance and reality. He understood that most people react to surface-level situations without seeing the deeper currents underneath. In your workplace, there's the official hierarchy on the org chart, and then there's the real hierarchy. Who actually has influence? Who makes decisions? Who has the CEO ear? Most people only see the official version. They wonder why less qualified people get promoted. They don't see the game being played behind the scenes. In social situations, there are stated rules of engagement and actual rules of engagement. Most men play by stated rules and lose to men who understand actual rules. In relationships, there's what people say they want and what they actually respond to. The gap between these two things is vast. Machiavelli taught strategic observation. Watch what people do, not what they say. Watch where resources actually flow, not where they claim to flow. Watch who gains power, not who deserves it by your moral standards. The awakened man sees beneath the surface. He reads rooms, he recognizes patterns, he understands motivations. This isn't cynicism. It's clarity, and clarity is power. Fourth truth, your comfort is being weaponized against your potential. This is the most dangerous truth because it's the most invisible. Modern society has perfected something Machiavelli's princes only dreamed of, keeping people controlled not through oppression but through comfort. Entertainment, distraction, easy pleasures, just enough to keep you sedated, but not enough to make you powerful. You're encouraged to treat yourself, to relax, to avoid stress, to seek work-life balance. While others are building empires, Machiavelli understood that comfort breeds weakness. The soft prince loses his kingdom to the hungry rival. The comfortable man loses his edge to the disciplined one. The game requires something from you that modern culture tells you to avoid. Voluntary hardship, discipline, delayed gratification, struggle. Every powerful man throughout history understood this. They embraced difficulty because difficulty forged them into something formidable. They didn't avoid discomfort, they weaponized it. Your competitors, and make no mistake, you have competitors, are hoping you stay comfortable, hoping you keep hitting snooze, hoping you choose Netflix over development, hoping you stay exactly where you are. They're counting on it. So, what happens when you finally see the game for what it is? Everything changes, but not in the way you might think. You don't become cold. You don't become cruel. You don't lose your humanity. You become strategic. You become intentional. You become effective. You stop complaining about unfairness and start positioning yourself advantageously. You stop hoping people will respect you and start building a presence that commands respect. You stop reacting emotionally to every slight and start responding strategically to what actually matters. You stop waiting for perfect conditions and start creating conditions that favor you. You see the invisible hierarchies in every room. You recognize who has real power versus who has titles. You understand the difference between stated rules and actual rules. You become the player, not the piece being played. Let me give you concrete examples of how this looks in real life. In your career, the naive man believes promotions are purely merit-based. He works hard, keeps his head down, and waits to be noticed. The awakened man understands promotions involve visibility, strategic relationships, and managing perception. He doesn't just work hard, he ensures the right people know about his value. He builds alliances with decision makers. He positions his wins as solutions to problems his superiors care about. Same amount of effort, completely different results. In social dynamics, the naive man enters every interaction trying to be liked. He agrees with everyone, avoids conflict, and wonders why he's not taken seriously. The awakened man enters interactions with clear boundaries. He's agreeable when it serves him, firm when necessary, and comfortable with disagreement. People sense his self-respect and mirror it back in relationships. The naive man believes unconditional availability equals devotion. He's always accessible, always accommodating, and wonders why attraction fades. The awakened man understands that value requires boundaries. He's present when he's present, but maintains his mission, his standards, and his independence. This creates respect, which sustains attraction. This isn't manipulation. This is understanding how humans actually operate versus how we wish they operated. Now, I need to tell you something important. This knowledge is dangerous not to others, to you, because once you see the game, you face a choice. You can use this understanding to build, or you can use it to destroy. You can become formidable, or you can become toxic. You can lead, or you can exploit. Machiavelli has been misunderstood for centuries because people focus on his tactics while missing his context. He was writing about survival in a brutal political landscape. He was documenting what works, not necessarily what's noble. Your responsibility, and this is crucial, is to pair this strategic understanding with purpose, to use power in service of something meaningful, to become strong, not just for yourself, but for those you choose to protect and lead. The weak man can afford to be good because he has no power to abuse. The powerful man must choose to be good despite having the power to be otherwise. That's the real test. So here's what you do next. First, accept that you've been playing a game you didn't know existed. Stop being angry about it. Stop feeling cheated. Just accept it. The men who win aren't the ones who complain about the rules. They're the ones who master them. Second, start observing. Watch power dynamics around you. Notice who actually has influence versus who just has titles. Watch how resources flow. Notice the gap between what people say and what they do. Develop the eye. Third, develop strategic thinking. Before you react to anything, an insult, an opportunity, a setback, pause. Ask yourself, what's actually happening here? What are the deeper currents? What serves my long-term interests? Fourth, build your virtù. That's Machiavelli's word for it. Not virtue in the moral sense, but capability, skill, strength, adaptability, the ability to bend circumstances to your will. Train your body, sharpen your mind, develop skills that make you valuable, become formidable. Fifth, establish boundaries. Start small if you need to. Say no to something that doesn't serve you. Walk away from disrespect. Stop tolerating what you've been tolerating. Watch how people's behavior toward you changes when you change what you accept. And finally, find your purpose. Because strategic thinking without purpose is just clever manipulation. Power without direction is just chaos. Strength without meaning is just violence. Machiavelli wrote for princes who wanted to build kingdoms. What kingdom are you building? What legacy are you creating? Who are you becoming? They tried to ban this knowledge because they knew what it would do. It would wake people up. It would show them that the official narrative is a child's story. It would reveal that power follows principles, and those principles can be learned. They wanted you to believe that success is random, that respect is granted by being nice, that playing by the stated rules is enough. They wanted you docile, predictable, controllable, but you're watching this, which means something in you refused to accept the comfortable lie. Something in you sensed there was more to the game than what you'd been told. That instinct was right. The game is real. The principles are timeless, and the men who understand them shape reality while everyone else reacts to it. You can't unsee what you've seen here. You can't go back to believing in fairness, cosmic justice, or the merit-based fantasy. The only question now is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you become strategic or stay reactive? Will you build power or keep giving it away? Will you see the game and play it masterfully? Or will you pretend it doesn't exist and wonder why you keep losing? Machiavelli gave you the map 500 years ago. The territory hasn't changed, and the choice has always been yours. Welcome to the game. Now go play it like you finally understand the rules.